Are your cards still worth money? Are they valuable in any sense of the word, or are you afraid of reprints? Because MTG Finance is like a backdrop conversation players like to have almost every day, discussing the card values of their collection. And now with the fear of reprints in every player's mind, how bad is MTG Finance likely to get? Fear, anxiety, and of course reprints. Welcome back everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. Before we get today's video started, of course, we are less than 1,000 subscribers. We are 970 subscribers from hitting the goal of 20,000 and of course the 20K party. I'll have a little bit of a discussion at the end of the video. You can stay tuned to that if you want to catch that little bit. So let's talk about what's happening in the MTG finance world. When you look at how the market has changed in the last 24 months and the craziness that players have had to endure, it feels like the real stock market. But unlike the stock market that's regulated, anything goes in MTG finance. We have no control in an unregulated market about what's going to happen, which is why so many players don't call it investing. They call it speculating. You are trying to capitalize on a card and get it out, sold, gone, before Wizards of the Coast finds out it's valuable and puts it on the reprint target list. That's what it's all about. That is the name of the game, staying ahead of the curve. We can call it investing all we want. I do the same. That's the term I use. But it is a speculative game where you're trying to get ahead. And right now, the world of MTG finance, it's reeling. It is scared, it's freaking out, and it's wondering, are things going to change? How bad is this going to get? When is the pain going to stop? Well, according to Aaron Forsyth, the economic team that doesn't follow the secondary market kind of tells them what to reprint, kind of gives them an indicator about how much value to pack into a set. Really? So they do follow the secondary market? I told you, I'm never going to let that go. That's the going gag now forever. But either way, what's happened is that takes time. It's part of the ship we talk about. They got to turn around. So MTG Finance is still going to get a lot worse before it has any chance of getting better if you're a person trying to speculate in this market. Now, that doesn't mean that people can't make money in this speculative market like this. You got to pick the right card. You got to be able to sell it fast. And you got to make sure you have avenues to get the card off the books. You got to find a way to get it out the door. That can be all kinds of different card spaces. And things like TCG Player do make it pretty easy. And of course, if you're shopping on TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link found in the description of my videos. I really hope you guys use the link as much as possible right now because I have a lot of purchasing to do for this 20K party and it's happening faster than I thought. So I'm kind of doubling down. You guys will find out why very soon. So when you look at the MTG finance world, the way this is all put together, it was formed on the basis that, like a stock market, you buy a stock, you hope it goes up, but you get dividends. You get something out of it in the meantime while you're waiting. A little something, something. In the world of Magic, we don't have dividends, but we do get the card enjoyment. You get to play with the card. Now, the difference is if you buy 500 copies, you're not playing with all 500 copies, but you do play with the card and enjoy it, and you're hoping it's going to appreciate and be able to sell it. Examples I would use are things like when I did with Mox Amber. Selling thousands of copies and getting them off the books was very hard to do. And I knew my time was coming up because the old market stance of about 4 or 5 years for a really powerful card does not hold true anymore. Wizards of the Coast is going to reprint things any way they see fit. Anything goes in this market right now, and that's what has those speculative players terrified. And that's not such a bad thing. It's not bad to have the fear and anxiety about your cards losing money. It will stop you from making rash decisions. It'll stop you from blowing money on a card game, wondering if it's going to go up. It'll stop you because you'll be so afraid of losing everything. When you look at how Wizards of the Coast has managed their market space, they've done damage. We know it takes time for these things to recover, and some cards will never recover. But the good news is, some of them will. Some things will turn around, and some cards are more likely to go up than other cards. I've done a lot of videos in the past of card watch videos, reserve list videos, covering this financial slant on the market, and I do it all the time in my top 10 videos on the weekend. You guys know I cover the hottest selling cards in Magic by volume. I look at what's going on in the market space. Are the decks being played? Are these cards being speculative? Are they good? And then I do the same thing for the reserve list with the overall sales volumes and even some of the hidden stuff behind closed doors, because not everything is on Reddit for MTG Finance, or you can't see everything on things like TCG Player or your local store. A lot of this stuff happens in Facebook groups. A lot of this happens in private sales, and you got to have ways in to see what's going on. You got to have people who know people to get you the information sometimes, and that's hard to do. The market is not nearly as bad as players think, but for other cards, it's worse than you think. That's the crazy part. A lot of new cards, unless they got high value, players are kind of shying away, and even when they have high value, players aren't buying them. If they happen to own it, great, but they're worried about cards being just blanketed and bombed. When they think Wizards is going to hit a reprint target, they're afraid it's going to happen to their card, the card that they want to enjoy and they're hoping to sell later on. Now, with the whole thing going on with revitalizing Standard, I think this is all a very slow ship turning around. So as bleak and disgustingly scary this market looks right now, it's not all bad. Again, it's going to stop you guys from making rash decisions. It stops me. I don't buy boxes. I don't buy this stuff because the box prices are so high and the value is so low, there's no way to really come out ahead. It's pure just, you got to crack packs for the fun of opening them, knowing you're losing 80% of your volume. Because the other thing that I think, 80% of the value. But the other thing I want to mention is, whenever you hear somebody say a card's $80, remember it's not $80. We've talked about this. If you say Shieldred's an $80 card, it's a $50 card. Because if you want cash, the store's not going to pay you $80. Remember that. You might be able to get it in a private place, but the general rule is it's not worth as much as players think it is. And that makes it even scarier because you see it an $80 card. You try to trade it and they offer you $50. And that's if they want to take the card at all. They would prefer to trade you cards out of the cabinets than actually give you cash. Crazy times. This has players freaked out. This is a conversation that I'm literally having every day in private chats on my Discord, with emails, just talking with my friends, and even at a couple local stores. Players wondering if they should just ditch a lot of these cards now with reprints coming up. And the belief that reprints are going to come up, the belief that they're going to see another Amazon dump really soon, and it's all going to come collapsing down again, making it more affordable, but less likely to ever recover in value. And there is that fine line, because there's a small vocal group of players who would love for these cards to fall in price and make them very affordable for everybody. But the second half is kind of like, hey, if these cards go to zero, who's going to open the boxes? Who's going to pay $160 for cards that are worth $1? Do you think Wizards is going to retrace their prices and back things up? Of course not. Of course not. You never go down, you only go up. So they have to find a way to fix the system. And they will be fixing it. So as bleak as it looks, there is going to be a recovery mode. There will be an area where things slowly turn around, because with players opening less boxes, supply and demand tells you there's going to be more. So will the cards all go to zero? No. Will it be select cards that just never recover? Absolutely. And are cards going to stay low generally? Yes. I think a lot of cards are going to stay low. But I think on that second half of things, there are certain cards that will be the marquee chase card that will go up. They are highly playable, highly powerful, and players will find out how to use those cards. And Wizards probably already knows how good these cards are going to be, and they'll be priced accordingly before you know it. Those are the cards that Wizards hopes to use as reprint equity years from now, after things recover, to get the next wave going. Now, before we end things off, we're in the second half here. You've made it this far. Congratulations. Put a boomstick. Let's talk a little bit about the reserve list. The reserve list is extremely soft right now. Extremely soft. It's like putty. It's malleable. Tons of cool prices. Players are taking advantage. I've noticed it in the last few weeks. All kinds of weird card sales, all kinds of weird prices coming across that are not normally there in this market space at this time. But the sales overall are higher than they've been in the last year and a half because the prices are so low. Some of these players out there are taking that speculative chance that these cards are going to recover at some point. They're willing to take the risk. They may not do it with modern cards, that they're afraid of being reprinted, but they still believe that Wizards of the Coast will not breach this dam. They're going to leave this last castle alone for the fear of how it's going to go. But Wizards would love to crack that nut. And they have ways of doing it. We've discussed this numerous times on the channel. They could do better versions. They could do all kinds of crazy stuff that will break the spirit of the reserve list. Right, Rosewater? Yeah, that's what you said. But here, at this time and space, it's the safest place to be right now for the market we're in. So players who've always wanted a Volroth Stronghold, they're going for it. A Tolarian Academy? Absolutely, why not? Who cares if it's banned? It's a card I've always wanted to try and play. How about a Soldevi Excavations? Remember all those sales last week? It was #1 on the Hot 10. I don't know where that came from, but it's the card of the channel. You've made it that far. Yeah. This is a weird time to be in. But when you have those conversations with players and you see them scared, I think rightfully so, because the changes happen so quickly, and we're slow to adapt. A lot of people cannot adapt this quickly to what's going on, and seeing your collection get obliterated in the space of a year and a half, losing 50 to 70% of the value depending on the cards, and seeing cards you thought were going to go up get reprinted before they even had a chance to accumulate wealth, it's crazy times. It feels like the end of days for some people, and that's why people abandoned the market and left. But the MTG finance world, this market we're living in for some players, it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to take time to recover. And really, adapt or die. Survival of the fittest in the end. A lot of people got squeezed out of this market who probably didn't want to leave, but felt they didn't have a choice. And the players with the bigot pocketbooks, the ones who got total, like they can just wait for like 50 years if they have to, those are the ones who are going to come out ahead. That's how I feel. That's my opinion on what I think is going on. I cover a lot of this stuff. I do it every day, and I can see it. What do you guys think that I do when I get home? I read. I learn. I find any way I can to get as much data collected so I can try to stay ahead of that curve. Guys, thanks a lot for hanging out. Knowledge is your friend. Lots of perspectives is always a good thing. Even if this is just one nugget, even if you don't like my channel, but you still hung out here for some reason. Does that mean, they say if you don't like a place, but you still hang out, you're still a fan? Yeah, I don't care. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a good time while you were here. And if you enjoyed today's content, help this channel get closer. Help us get to that 20K. Be part of something. Only you guys can make it happen. Not just me. I got to have people watching the channel. Thanks again for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for another video, which, of course, is the Top 10 Saturday edition. I'll see you guys in the morning. Big shout out and thank you to the amazing patrons of this channel and the fact we are approaching 20,000 subscribers. Some of you have been here a very long time. Thanks again for helping make this happen. True supporters everywhere. You guys rock. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. I see you guys, we've had some new people join the channel. We got pretty busy here today. What was that, like 50 subscribers in one day? Kind of crazy for me. Thanks again, everyone who made this happen so far. So, 970 subscribers to go until we get to 20,000, until the party actually happens. Now, that's kind of crazy. I will start double time. Sorry, hold on. Hold the horses. A lot of talking in a day. I will be doubling down and getting things done as quick as I can. For anyone who makes it this far in the video, I know I said boomstick earlier. You guys will put, it's the one on the car we want. That way I know you made it. But here's what's going to happen here, guys. The video will come up very soon. I've got to get everything in lined up, get it prepared. Next couple of days, the video will come out. And as you guys know, I can add more, but I will not take away. So whatever I put up on this video, it is going to be the base. Okay, it's the base. Over time, if I get more money, more funds, more stuff together, I will buy more product, more things, which means you need to be prepared as we get closer to 20K. There could be a follow-up video, but I may not say anything. And you'll have to wait until 20K to see the release of everything that I'm putting up, because there could be extra stuff there by that point. There could be more. What you're going to see in the video will be the base of the soup. There could be all kinds of spicy stuff added later if I get enough time and money and if I get the credit card, paid off. Mini Mox, I had to get him a new phone and stuff, and I got Mrs. Mox a phone. So things are a little bit out of whack for my finances, but I'm getting things together, okay? I'm putting it all lined up for everyone, and it is really exciting. Like, this is crazy. We are almost there. I know lots of other YouTubers I joined and started up with, and they're all gone now. There's only a few of us left in the group of YouTubers I kind of went up the charts with. And some are bigger than me, some are still smaller than me. It's just exciting to still be here and have so many fans of the channel still with me at this point. There's so many of you who are so active on the channel, who comment every day, leave a boomstick, first to the egg, first to the key, first to the egg. I almost got that backwards. It's the end of the night. You guys know what it's like. What time are we at? It is 11:48 p.m. right now. I only got home from work a little while ago, and I got to get back up in 6 hours for work again. That's how life is sometimes. A lot of extra shifts, trying to make some extra money. So it's kind of crazy to see all this, but we're definitely going to have some fun. Would you like a sampling? You made it this far. Would you like a sampling? I will give you a sampling, but I'm not going to say. This one? Sampling. I'm not admitting anything. I'm not saying anything. Sample. Sample. A taste. A taste. That's all you get. A taste. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being here, guys. It means a lot.